This week on Classical Myths, a Modern Story, we have the scandalous adventure of Psyche and Cupid. Once upon a time there lived a king and queen who had 3 very beautiful daughters. They were so beautiful, in fact, that it was only just possible to find words of praise for the elder two and to express the breathtaking loveliness of the youngest, the like of which had never been seen before was beyond all power of human speech. Some reported immortal Venus, born from the deep blue sea and risen to heaven from the foam, had descended on earth and is now an incarnate as immortal at whom everyone is allowed to gaze. As a result, nobody took the trouble to visit Venus's shrines. Her festivals were neglected, her rites discontinued. The altars were unswept and covered with the foul remains of months-old burned sacrifices. Her temples were allowed to fall into ruins. This angered the goddess.
Now really, who would have ever thought that I would be treated like this? I, the world's lovely Venus, having to share my ruling with a mortal who goes about pretending to be me. No, it's absurd. I can't let this silly little creature usurp my glory anymore. Cupid!
Venus called on Cupid, her winged son. She knew that he would naturally bend on
If you
mischief.
have any love for me as a mother, you will use your dear little arrows of yours to get rid of this imprudent girl. If you have any respect for me, you will use them to give me my revenge. You will make her fall desperately in love with an outcast from society. He will be the most obscure man and the most vile in all of the world.
Meanwhile, back in the kingdom, Psyche was distraught. Everyone stared at her, everyone praised her, but no commoner, no prince, no king even dared to marry her. Psyche remained single. The king went to the ancient oracle of Apollo, and after the usual prayers and sacrifices, asked where he was to find the husband from his daughter.
On some high mountain summit, the virgin decked for deadly nuptial rites. No hope of a mortal son-in-law, but of dire mischief, who flies.
The hour came when procession formed up on Psyche's dreadful wedding. She walked sadly forward. The crowd followed her up to the rock at the top of the hill where they left her. She was left alone, weeping and trembling at the very top of the hill, until a friendly west wind suddenly sprang up. It played around her until it lifted her off the ground and carried her slowly down into the valley at the foot of the hill.
Welcome to your new home, Psyche. Perhaps you'd like to take a bath and have something to eat.
After the excitement was over, Psyche thought it must be time to go to bed. So she went to her bedroom and undressed and lay in bed. Towards midnight, she heard a whisper near her and began to feel lonely and scared. It was the whisper of her unknown husband. He climbed into bed with her and took her into his arms and made her his wife. Psyche's husband told her that her sisters were searching for her and would soon be on the cliff.
Darling wife, the fates are cruel. You are in deadly danger. Your elder sisters are alarmed. They will soon be visiting the rock from which the west wind blew you down into this valley. Be warned. Your sisters are evil-minded women and will try to make you discover what I look like. If you listen to them, you will never be in my arms again.
No, I would rather die 100 times than lose your love. I have no idea who you are, but I love you. I wouldn't exchange your kisses for those of the god Cupid.
Meanwhile, the news of Psyche's sad fate had spread from the country to country until both her elder sisters heard all the details. They returned to their native city to mourn for their sister at the site where she was last seen.
There's no need for all that. Here I am. Please stop that terrible noise. In a moment, the west wind will bring us together. How did we get here? Sister! Oh. Yay. in and see my new home. It will make you both very happy.
The revelation of Psyche's goddess-like prosperity made them both miserably jealous.
So, tell us about this husband of yours. Does he treat you well?
Oh, he is a very handsome young man. He spends all of his time hunting in the neighboring hills and valleys.
Psyche grew afraid that she would contradict herself, so she summoned the west wind and to fetch them away at once.
Actually, my husband will be home soon. Maybe you guys can come back another time. Okay. Thank you for visiting me. Bye.
How cruelly fate has treated us. We are the eldest sisters, yet we are married off to foreigners and treated like slaves, while Psyche is given the most marvelous palace and a god for her husband. Chances are that he will make her a goddess. How I hate her.
Personally, my dear, I can't stand seeing our younger sister in such undeserved style. I mean, did you see the way she bragged about her wealth? And then, when she got bored of our visit, she whistled up her wind and blew us out? How about we join forces and work together on a plan on humbling her?
I am with you. I suggest we tell no one, not even mother or father. Psyche must be to be realized that we are not her servants, but her elder sisters.
That sounds good to me.
Within a month, the sisters returned.
We came to warn you about your husband.
There you sit, happily and calmly, without the least bit of suspicion of your misfortune. Your husband is a deadly snake that could kill you. His body is big enough to coil around you 12 times, and his neck is full of venom.
Poor silly Psyche was aghast at the dreadful news. She lost all control of herself and forgot all of the warnings her husband had given her.
Remember what Apollo's oracle said. You are destined to marry a wild savage beast whose favorite food is women.
Thank you, dear sisters. I believe you are quite right to warn me. The fact is, I have never seen my husband. I've only heard him speak to me late at night in whispers. And I have every reason to suppose he is a monster. Please advise me what to do.
You better make up your mind. Either come stay with us, or stay with your fiendish husband and end up in his stomach.
We decided that you only have one chance to save your life. You're gonna have to get a hold of a carving knife that's very sharp and a lamp and hide him behind the bedroom tapestry. Then, when he's deep asleep, take your knife and using the light to guide you, stab him in the neck.
She uncovered the lamp and let its light shine on the bed. At once, the secret was revealed. There lay the gentlest and sweetest of all creatures, Cupid himself. Psyche was terrified. She desperately tried to hide the knife by plunging it into her own heart. But the knife shrunk from the crime and twisted itself from her hand. Her curiosity could only be satisfied by a close examination of her husband's sacred weapons. She pulled out an arrow and touched the point with the tip of her thumb, but she pressed too hard. Psyche accidentally fell in love with love.
Oh, Psyche, it was for your sake that I disobeyed the orders of my mother. She told me to inflame you with an utterly worthless man, but I flew down from heaven and claimed you for myself. I acted thoughtlessly, and now you will pay the price for it by me leaving.
No.
On next week's episode, will Psyche and Cupid be reunited at last?